To our first corporate on the show, though, Anand Rathi, they reported muted growth in Q4 results. They missed the AUM growth guidance by close to 2,000 crores. To help us understand what went on in the past quarter and the way ahead, we're joined by Mr. Feroze Azeez, the Deputy CEO of Anand Rathi Wealth. Hi, Feroze. Good morning. Thanks so much for joining in. Well, you missed your AUM target that you had set and you had revised it midway through the year. But the street still likes your numbers. But tell us first, why did that AUM number miss? What transpired between Jan to March that resulted in this 2,000 crore miss?
Nigel, it's a 1,000 crore miss. We had said 40,000 crores on a consolidated basis. So we ended at 38,993. So that's 1,007 crore miss. If you look at 31st December, which is when we had revised in the last quarter, we had revised it to 40,000 crores from 39,000 crores. Nifty was at 18,100, and when we closed the year, it was 17,300. Since Nifty was about 4% down, when we give a AUM guidance, because AUM is generally a one-shot 31st March value, and it's not an aggregate of a specific period, you are subject to the closing of the 31st March. When we give a guidance, we assume that the Nifty would be at the same levels, which was not the case. Is why that miss. But you'll be happy to know that we had a great amount of net mobilization. We had a growth of 40% in the new monies we brought in. Of course, the dampened market ate away the benefit of the new money momentarily because AUM is a picture, not a movie.
Right. Take that point. It's a picture, not a movie. But Feroze, your net inflows in the fourth quarter, they were slower by almost 5% roughly 1,200 odd crores, 1,180 crores to be precise. First up, could you split that into how much of that was equity, how much of that was debt, how much of that was MLDs, and will the budget's announcement impact the MLD MLD inflows going forward? What was your experience in March?
Mangalam, let me break your question into two parts. One is the 5% fall in the net mobilization for the last quarter. 4-5% here or there depends on the reinvestment. If somebody wants to realign his money, so that's not a significant change. But you'd be again happy to note that our equity mutual fund net mobilization, which I think is the most important variable, because that's where our trail comes from. Debt funds don't give us too much trail. Equity funds do. You'd be happy to note that in the last quarter, we almost got 900 to 1,000 crores net flow in equity mutual fund. The industry overall, other than SIPs, full year lost 15,000 crores of net negative in the equity mutual funds. We did 2,500 crores positive, out of which 1,000 crores of equity net mobilization came in the last quarter. Yes, we had a 4-5% lower, like you rightly pointed out. But I think there sometimes what happens is clients redeem at a specific period. They couldn't reinvest before March 31st and these kind of numbers. But happy to note that equity mutual fund net mobilization was 1,000 crores almost for the quarter.
I mean, I'm just looking at a trend. A couple of quarters ago, this quarterly run rate was 750 to 800 odd crores. That over the last 4 quarters has increased to over 1,000 crores, closer to 1,200, 1,300 crores as well. Do we see this structurally move to around 1,500 to 2,000 crores at some point?
Yes, Mangalam, we are putting in our best professionally to move this number to 2,000 crores a quarter, or at least 1,500-1,700 crores a quarter. And I think we should be successful. We're using very different strategies to put the acceleration on the net flows, which is very important. But you should note that unlike most wealth management outfits, we don't like to collect assets to look bigger. You would see the liquid funds as a proportion of our AUM will be negligible. In most other wealth management outfits, it can be 25-30%. In our case, it will be 2%. Because we don't like to have tax-free bonds in our demat account to show ourselves bigger. We count those assets which are meaningful, which give the true picture, rather than make us look optically a little bigger. So AUM has very stringent methods of definition internally for us.
Feroze, because of the budget change, have you seen money being taken out of MLD?
No, Nigel, sir, it's not changed because in MLDs, as you Section 50AA, which now encompasses debt funds as well, any instrument which does not take risk is what has got included in 50AA. Now, debt funds which have 35% equity are also not included. So basically, crux of the 50AA section is if you're not taking any risk, don't take the benefit of long-term capital gain and indexation. All the MLDs Anand Rathi has ever issued in the last 10.5 years, almost about 1,200 of them which have matured and 1,600 which are still to mature, not even one is a principal protected MLD. Our belief is that if you're doing an MLD, then do it for the right reason. So if you're getting into an instrument which is linked to Nifty, have some protection, not fully protected. So all our instruments are non-principal protected, hence they don't come under the umbrella of 50A. We are opined that way. Of course, people have to take their own opinions, but we are...
Okay, got it. Thanks for clarifying that, Feroze. Let's focus on a couple of other aspects then. Your active client families, that's surged up to around 8,300. Good growth is what you delivered in the past year as well. What's the target for FY24? If you could tell us on that, point number one. And point number two, Feroze, I need to give this to you. I think when you came out with the IPO, you were talking about a net profit number for the, I think, of around 152 crores. You have delivered a number of close to around 168 crores. So good on that. Now you're talking about 205 crores. Upside risk to that as well?
Nigel, sir, our belief is that we have to professionally give conservative numbers. Generally in IPOs, you want to be even more careful because you don't want to overstate your numbers. So 152, we've done 168. Of course, the year was not so mundane. It was quite exciting, Ukraine war and the US inflation. But again, we have tried to give a guidance of almost about 21-22% on the PAT growth. That makes it 205. We will try our best to achieve it and maybe supersede it marginally at least. So that's on. If God is kind, we'll be able to achieve that.
All right, and you want to give us the number about your active client families as well from this 8,300? Where does it go?
Nigel, when we look at gross family additions, we are looking at 2,500 crores of new clients added. But what happens is we take it on a net basis. If there is some client who slips below 50 lakhs because of mark-to-market effect, we count them out. So 2,500 crores of gross addition and at least a 20% growth on the net basis.
All right. So that explains why perhaps your clients were lower in the second half of FY23 as well, because they slipped perhaps below that 50 lakh mandate, the net clients that we're talking about. Recently the SEBI launched an AIF to launch direct plan schemes. Will there be any impact on your wealth management business because of it?
No, Mangalam, it will have no impact because in 2013, when mutual funds had the direct alternative, we believed that going the advisory way will require all products to be having direct. And that's when a wealth management outfit can choose to between distribution and advisory efficiently. So after that, there have been about 8-10 circulars on advisory. We have not had to change our business model, point one. Point two, AIFs, in our belief, at least long-only AIFs for which upfronts have also been curtailed or capped or made zero. I think long-only AIFs is something which we never recommend, or we've never recommended an AIF so far. So when at a point in time when we recommend an AIF, it will be for the right reason, saying that there is no other vehicle which can do what that AIF can do, because it's alternate investment fund. People put stocks in it and give a name of alternate, because all stocks are a very, very commonly found instrument. So to answer your pointed question, no impact because no AIF sale currently. Not that we are averse to that platform, but a platform has to be used if no other platform can provide you an asset mix of that nature.
All right. And final point, you said that you'll try to marginally outbeat your net profit guidance of 205 crores to Nigel. Your revenue guidance, you've given 18% for this year, AUM guidance of 21%. I presume that you will try to outbeat that as well?
Yes, Mangalam, we will do our best to achieve that number. And we would like to believe that it's not a very aggressive number, but it's encompasses different situations possible.
All right, Feroze, thank you so much for joining in and laying out those numbers for us. Your viewers and investors will be happy to know your guidance. With that, we'll sit into a short break, come back on the other side. We'll get you more on the markets and individual stocks.